Hello, hi there, how you guys doing? My name is Kenneth. This is Basic Umra by Dave. Today is your first time of viewing my channel. I want you to smash the subscription button and as well turn the notification bell on so you wouldn't miss any of my new videos. To my returning viewers, thank you so much for making this channel a worthwhile one. I would encourage you to share, like, and should in case you want us to make video of any form of health tips, just comment right below. I will do it as quickly as possible. I've got some comments earlier on. By the way, I hope you guys are doing very well today. It's a brand new week. I do wish you all the best things in life. I've got a couple of comments down on some videos I made earlier on. It has to do with masturbation. It was, they were of like, how does is masturbation okay for a man or a woman? What are the side effects? So I decided to make video of it today. First and foremost, what is masturbation? I know there's a couple of people out there that are engaged in this activity without them knowing the real name or what is being called. Masturbation is when one, you stimulate your organ or your genitals to gain orgasm. Okay, when you stimulate your genitals to gain orgasm, okay, it's very important. We know this. Now, I believe if you search on Google, even on YouTube down here, you search and there's a lot of good things said about masturbation. But I'm here to tell you that wait a second. I need to tell you about the good and the bad side of it. And I tell you what, the disadvantage outweighs the advantage involved. I've written a couple of the advantage here. It gives some sort of good mood. It will help you relax your nerves, and it helps make you enjoy sex, and a couple of other unverifiable health benefits. Some even says it helps it helps with prostate cancer. Wait a second and get to hear the side effect, because it does outweighs the advantage part of it. Okay, masturbation, for me personally, I don't support it, simply because it does have a lot of negative side effect. That it outweighs, some people claims, they derive some sort of calmness. They derive some sort of relief. They derive sort of because of the hormones it releases. It releases some hormones that that are responsible for happiness, for love, and for calmness. So some people feel that once they masturbate, they have this feeling. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want you to engage in such thing personally, because from my from questions I've asked people, I mean offline, not online here, I've got to know that once engaged in masturbation, a lot of people that ask questions, they've been telling me once they do this, there is kind of a mundane spirit of bad energy that attempts to, from the marine world. Okay, if you're a woman, you tend to, once you sleep from, I'm just telling you verbally from what my the people asked, what they told me. The response was, if you're a woman, once you have masturbation and you sleep, you tend to have a kind of sexual intercourse with the man while you dream, kind of a spiritual husband. Why vice versa for a man, when you masturbate, you have sexual intercourse for when you have sexual intercourse with a woman in your dream. Okay, so apart from this, I know a couple of people might not believe in this spiritual side of it, but I tell you what, the health one, the physical one, we could say is not encouraging at all. And I personally advise you to put a stop to it completely. Right, the side effects are numerous. Okay, they're numerous and devastating, not good for you at all. From once you begin to masturbate, okay, you tend to have a low esteem. Okay, have low esteem. You tend to feel inferior among people. Okay, no one is doing this to you, but just within yourself, you tend to feel inferior. Just like, for instance, once you masturbate, you find that as soon as you've done that, you feel relief and calm. But one thing begins, like, your mind begins like to blame you. It begins to blame yourself, and you begin to like, why did you even do it in the first place? Okay, so once such person does this, you begin to have low esteem before your peers, before your colleagues at work, your friends. And secondly, I've written a couple of them. Let me. Once you engage in this, you do this. I'm not talking about those that does this once in a while, but those that does this frequently. Number two goes with such people. You because you do this often, and or the process of trying to like stimulate your genitals, okay, you begin to have sores on your private part. Okay, you begin to have sores because there's a lot of friction going on there. Then three, once you engage in this, you certainly have weak erection. When you want to actually enjoy the real sex with a physical person, you begin to have weak erection. 4, erectile dysfunction. Okay, erectile dysfunction. You begin to like have low sperm count, weak erection, low libido, and the rest of it. Okay, and at work, or perhaps in your business place, wherever you work, you have low productivity because often your mind is always playing on you. And lest I forget, once you masturbate, something before you do that, something stimulates you, something pushes you to do that. You don't just masturbate alone. There's something that is going to trigger that. For instance, once you want to masturbate, perhaps you begin to picture, perhaps you're walking on down the road and you saw a very beautiful and pretty woman with very good shapes. You can begin to like picture such person in your mind and having her on your bed. Something's going to trigger you, the picture from the porn videos you watch, from the movies you watch, from some very seductive songs we listen to these days. Those are the things that's going to trigger you to masturbate. So, right, then the 6th one, social distance. You find that once you begin to masturbate, for those of us watching this video now, you find that you definitely once like your mind is always playing game on you. It always pricks you. You would want to, perhaps you go out with a friend, or you go for a party, or you go for even a meeting, or perhaps you're just chilling outside with your friends or your neighbors. You find that you tend to like get disturbed, and the next that comes to your mind is just to go inside your house and just do your thing. Okay, so there's always a social distance between you, your parents, your loved ones, and your neighbors around. Then 7, this ultimately is the very ugly side of it. Okay, once you are masturbating and you end up marrying, settling down, or perhaps you've settled down already and you're still engaged in masturbation, certainly you would have problem in your marriage. Simply because for a man, for instance, you tend to like you don't have that feeling for your partner because you feel that it's something that you could take care of. It's something that you could just sort out yourself. It's kind of feeling that you can easily get to yourself. Okay, you don't actually want the other partner. The same thing applicable to the woman. Something that you feel that when you play with your vibrators, you feel that it's something that you could easily give to yourself. That feeling of having a male partner, you feel that it's something that you could do to yourself. So you tend to have very low libido for sex. Okay, and certainly this is going to equate. Of course, once you engage in masturbation, you as a man, you have erectile dysfunction. I mentioned earlier. You have weak erection. Okay, as most people that engage in masturbation often, you do it regularly, you have weak erection, right? Weak ejaculation. This will certainly hinder you from performing your normal duty as a man while in marriage or when you settle down. Then like the one I mentioned earlier, once you engage in this, you're basically inviting some mundane spirit, bad energy that will certainly begins to, like I mentioned earlier, those are the response I got from people when I ask questions. You'd certainly invite some mundane spirits that would, you find that things around you doesn't move the way you want anymore. Misfortune begins to befall on you unnecessarily. And least I forget, you begin to have a very slow, weak muscle. You lose energy and begin to have skin problem once you masturbate. So once you take all this into cognizance, you find that the disadvantage, the side effect, it outweighs, it outnumbers the how do I put it, the feeling you have or any form of joy or happiness you derive from doing it. So personally, I wouldn't advise you to do it. Now you ask yourself, how do I put a stop to it? Perhaps you've been struggling to put a stop to it, and you've been struggling with it. I think once you engage yourself in a couple of activities, I think boredom leads to masturbation. Okay, boredom leads to masturbation. Depression leads to it. Being alone all the time leads to it. Okay, so once you get yourself busy, from reading, get yourself some very good educational, informative books, read them, and get yourself a yoga exercise. Hit the gym, make friends with some friends that are useful and valuable. I'm sorry to say, some productive friends. Get yourself acquainted with all these form of activities, and listen to some good music, not the ones that are going to seductive ones that are going to propel you more to masturbate. Listen to good music that will encourage you, get this head busy, and certainly I'd advise you as well, pray. Okay, pray and meditate. All this activity will definitely take your mind off it. And while you do this, I'm certainly sure masturbation is going to be a thing of the past, and you will enjoy your life. And if you are doing it already, you regain your lost glory. Okay, thank you very much. Let's not forget, if you've not subscribed to my channel, do this so you don't miss any of my videos, and don't forget to turn the notification bell on. Very important. Thank you, and love it.